What's up, guys? Foodnerd Lover 47 here. Welcome to watching For the Plot. I actually forgot my intro, so maybe I'll get back to that one day. So this is the first Patreon video. What's up, guys? The show we're reviewing today is called Parade, and it's very similar to Yoga Surata Jogetsu. I don't know if I can say the name. It has those type of vibes to it. You know, the whole superstar getting sold out type of vibe. Yeah, that. So one thing I do have to note right off the bat is how transcendent the OST is. Jesus, I can genuinely listen to this shit on loop for days on end. It's beautiful. Now let's get to talking about the plot, shall we? This is a 2-episode, 1-hour series, and it starts off with episode 1. So we have literally 4 characters in the series, right? So it's very easy to keep track of. These characters are Kaori, Yuko, Saki, and Sayaki. Now, I will mention more than 4 characters in this story, but for the sake of this plot, it's only 4, okay? Don't get nitpicky on me. So we start off right after seeing Kaori, an up-and-coming pop star, coming off her first concert, and she's excited and nervous about it. Despite the feelings she has right now, she did an excellent job in the performance. So excellent, as a matter of fact, Kaori over here was in the talks of being the best new artist of that year, so that's a thing. Yuko is Kaori's manager. They're talking back and forth about how they met one another. She was on a hunt to look for the next big thing about a year ago, and she was probing the crowd looking for women who stood out, who could be the next pop star, the next big thing. And then boom, Kaori walked past, and then a year later, here they are, now a dynamic duo. After that decent flashback, we come to find out that Kaori is of the Futanari breed, aka intersex, aka, yes. After the session, we flash to the other half of Saki and Sayaki. Saki says, "I want that," in reference to Kaori, the pop star main character we mentioned before. So now that she is planning to, well, get her, I guess, I don't know what that means. Wait. I do know what that means. Why am I questioning it? So, just like clockwork, Kaori is getting ready to go in the rehearsal or something like that. She needs to be in her really little outfit. She has to use a restroom. Since she's packing down there, it has to be an entire performance to get in and out of the said restroom. In that said restroom, Sayaki noticed that Kaori went into the bathroom, so she guards the door and puts a do not disturb sign on the outside of it, so anyone will be discouraged to enter the restroom. And while Sayaki's guarding the doors, Saki goes in there, the blonde superstar, the blonde Britney Spears, except she's free and actually has free will and can actually decide what she wants to do. Walks in there, sees Kaori, and begins to procreate with her. While this was all happening, Kaori's manager, aka Yuko, starts to wonder, where the hell is my paycheck at? Where did she go? Finds him in the bathroom, and in the thick of it, Saki is shocked because she gets to be reunited with her sister, who really isn't her sister, but I'll get to that later on. With Saki's ego on the line, she says, "Hey, I know Kaori over there. Yeah, you knew superstar? I know she's packed, so I'm gonna tell unless you participate in my game." And it's very to assume what kind of game or where this is going is that and the third. Yuko hesitates but has no choice because, you know, the average everyday J-pop stan is not very pro-intersex. So now, accepting the challenge, we are on to episode 2. Now here's where it gets emotional. Everyone arrives at Suki's house / apartment that she once shared with Yuko. Saki's game is to see who can make whom coom first. Mouthful, I know. I don't know what you were expecting. I mean, it's a hentai after all. Wow, I haven't said that in a while. Jesus. So the cooming competition is Dom v Dom, Saki v Yuko. And the way this is going to work apparently is that they have to make each other's counterparts coom the quickest, and then the game is over. So after another not so brief session, the manager, Yuko, wins. And her phrase is something like, "I taught you everything you knew about sex, so I knew you had an anal fixation, so I targeted your pet named Sayaka, and I won." Like, she deadass had an entire anime speech over winning and making a woman come in less than 7 minutes. I mean, I guess there's something to celebrate about. I can't really dog her too much about that. So after winning, Yuka goes home with Kaori, free now. They don't have any more blackmail over their heads because apparently Saki's a woman of her word for some reason. And insert the emotional story to top off this wholesome atrocity. So apparently, the reason that she knew Saki was because of the fact that, you know, the manager I was mentioning earlier was actually a pop star. And she debuted with Saki at the start of their career. They were inseparable. A match made in heaven, like salt and pepper, except it didn't last that long. The next scene, we get to the main focal point of this flashback, the duo having to meet in an indiscreet location that their agent set up, and come to find out that, boom, an entire group of bigwigs, aka connections, are violating them both. And after that, Yuko was furious and just is pissed off and just beats the agent up. So after that, Saki's on the verge of breaking because, you know, what just happened to her. And Yuko encourages her, and she's like, "You know what, hey, you don't want to quit singing. I know you don't. Just come on, we'll stick with this together. We got this. And then she gets encouraged, and then Saki keeps singing. A year after that, however, insert sad music here, Yuko gets an infection, rendering her unable to sing, i.e. coughing up blood for some reason. That's always like the main sickness trope for anime. If you cough up blood, you're like fucking terminally ill. And this ginormous blow to her career and her view on life, she decides to up and leave Saki in the middle of her prime and just never says a word to her. And has met her in the past 3 years. So this is the first time she ever met Saki ever since she abandoned her 3 years ago. Quite an emotional reunion. And I can see why Saki wanted to see Yuko again because, they kind of left on no terms at all. Unfortunate. Flash to present day, and this explains Saki's bitter look of defeat after losing to her in the contest 3 years later. So after bawling and letting her feelings out, the next day, Yuko and Kaori see Saki at their office. Oh my god, I could have never seen that one coming. And when asked about why she's working with them now, it's because she's just enamored by them both and wants to collab as well. So I guess, for lack of a better word, she's mixing business with pleasure to the highest degree, and that's the end. That was a pretty lovely story. I'm not too against it, but in comparison to what I've seen so far, it's not that bad. It's still brutal. Don't get me wrong. It is still brutal. The gangbang scene exists. If that scene did not exist at all, this would be a very wholesome variety type of hentai we're looking at here, but this is still kind of like emotional, kind of brutal, kind of gets you in your feels. You know what I'm saying? It's very fast paced, at least. Also, I am glad that there was a happy ending because this could have easily turned into a very dark story. Alright guys, I don't have an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because no one makes this far into the video. Good night.